Okay, so the question came up on the forum about how do you create a pattern of holes to attach a small part with curvature to mate to the curvature of a longer part, and then have a circular pattern of screws in here to attach these. Now, if you're going to have a hole that's on plane here, that's not going to be a problem because it's just straight through. But now, as you start patterning that around here, you're going to have them on this curvature face, and figuring out the angle is going to be kind of a challenge. So how do you go about doing that? So I'm going to show a technique here using Pro or Expert, and then I'll follow up with how to do it in Atom 3D. So first I'm going to open up this tube part, and this has a diameter of 10 inches. And so I'll open this in a separate window. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a plane on this tangent to that face there. So close that. And now I'm going to create a sketch. And we'll have a sketch right on our origin here for simplicity. So we'll make this 2 inches. And then we'll put some smaller circles on here for the whole pattern. First one will be diagonal or horizontal to the origin, and make them 1/8 of an inch just for keep the numbers easy to remember. And then we'll have some reference lines in here, and then we'll dimension these at 120. And then this one will be 120. That's going to be A1 to equal everything out. So now we have our whole pattern here. Now, like I said, if you have Pro or Expert, go to the Model tablet and select the Wrap tool. Select this surface. Change to Deboss, and make sure the value is set so that it goes through the material. And there's your whole pattern. And now, if we go back to our assembly, we can open the stub in a separate window. And again, we'll repeat this. Same steps. We'll insert a plane, tangent to that curved surface. And then on this plane, we'll start a sketch. And the same as before, we'll have 0.125, and we'll make these all equal, and put in some sketch lines here, and dimension these. So this first one, we're going to make this one horizontal, and then this will be 120, and then this one here will be A1 to make it equal to 120 there. And then again, we'll go up into Model tab, grab our Wrap tool, select our face, and here we'll just set this to be deep enough for our screw, and select OK on that, and there's our holes. Now we go back into the assembly, and we'll just reconstrain the turn and unsuppress our mate for that. And let's take a look in our inspection tab, and look at that. We have our holes lined up perfectly for screws to be inserted as our final assembly. So now the question is, how do you do this in Atom without the Wrap tool? So let's go back into our tube assembly, and we'll just delete Wrap. We'll come into our sketch, and we need to create some reference geometry on here, because we're going to have to make some extra reference planes to work on. So the first thing we're going to do is insert some points from Sketch. So at the center point of each one of these small circles, we're going to select that and then click Apply, and then put a point at each one of those locations. So now, as you can see, looking at the front, these two are off the surface of this part. This first one that's horizontal to the origin is on that surface. So what we need to do is create some planes that we can sketch on. So we'll go to Insert Plane, and we'll grab one of these points here and apply, and then we'll grab this back one here, and oops, not that one. Clear all. We want to grab the point. There we go. And we'll close that. Okay, now on this front plane, we'll activate a sketch. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to grab this first top outside edge, and we're going to project that, maintain association, and create a reference figure on there. And then we're going to grab and create an arc. And well, let's see, let's create our arc from the center between these 2 points. Oh, back up. I want to create an arc from this point, because we want to wrap this point over onto this surface. So we're going to have a center of our arc is here, and then we'll constrain that. It already exists, and it already exists. So now let's make sure that this center point is horizontal there, and now we can do a point from Sketch to this point and apply that. And while we're here, we'll throw in a sketch line from that point to the origin, and we'll put an axis on this line. And then again, we'll have the same scenario. We'll draw another arc. This can be the center point. And a couple of constraints there on the endpoints of this arc. One to this point, and then to this line, and reference line from the endpoint there to the origin, and then a reference point on this point, and an axis on this line. Okay, now in order for us to create this circle to punch through these holes, we need a couple more reference planes. So we'll go in here and we'll do an insert plane. We'll grab this first axis, and then we're going to grab the inside point, and we'll select normal to and click apply. And then on this bottom one, we'll select the arc and grab this inside and apply there and close. So now we've got our 2 planes, that are on these points tangent to the outside surface. So when we create our holes on those points, we'll grab this one here, we'll activate, and we'll draw our first hole. 0.125, and we'll punch that through. Make sure we're going through the material. And then on this plane, we'll do the same thing. We could have mirrored that top hole, but for sake of oh, I see, I gotta mess that one up already. So let me 0.125 coincident to there. Make sure you select the right, and that'll make sure it's going the right direction. Yep. Okay, let me go back up here. Yeah, see, I did this on the origin. I should have done that on the other, on that other point. 0.125 and coincident from the center to this point. There we go. Now, those two planes, we can turn them off to get rid of some of the clutter. And if we go back to our original sketch, not that one, it's this one, yep. This hole, this arc, we'll change this to reference, and this one will change to reference, and then we'll punch that through and rebuild. Okay, so now we have these holes with axis points through. So back in our assembly, turn on reference geometry. We have axis holes through, and if we go to inspect, now we have our axis going through the hole, and you can align your fastener to the axis and then coincident to this inside point with an offset so that you're equal to material thickness, and that should line up your part or your fastener for attaching those parts. So anyway, I hope this helps you out in this regard. So talk to you later.